Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about the GT frame standers and their generations. You might learn something new today or perhaps just rekindle your childhood with some 80s nostalgia. First things first, let's get the rule set out of the way. Rule 1, what constitutes a generation and a change to the BMX community is a major design revision. Rule 2, different generations can be available during the same time period. Rule 3, variants or minor differences can be found within a generation. And Rule 4, quality was not job one back in the day. Generation 0, available early 1984 through 1985, and these only came in chrome plate. The early frame standers, which showed up in 1984, were very similar to the Trick Systems frame standers, which debuted about the same time. There are a few variants of this design. One version has the words GT BMX products stamped into the flange. Another version has the letters GT with a trademark symbol. And I've also seen one with an elongated flange, which has a slotted hole for the axle instead of a round clearance hole found on all of the designs. The most important thing to note here is that all of the generations used a closed-in flange. In other words, if the slot continues to the edge of the flange, then it's either been modified or it's not genuine GT. Generation 1, available late 1985 through 1991. These came in chrome plate, white, black, lavender, green, bubblegum pink, and GT blue, aka Maui blue. This design utilized a stamped center section with serrations and two open cutouts welded to the chainstay curve section and a flat flange. The flange used a circular hole for the axle. If your version has a slotted or elongated hole, then it was either modified or it's not genuine GT. All of them had the GT bubble font logo stamped into the flange. They were equipped on the higher-end flagship freestyle bikes starting in 1986, essentially the Pro World Tour, Pro Freestyle Tour in 1986, and in 1987 through about 1988 for the Pro Performer, Pro Freestyle Tour, and of course the Team model. They were also used in 1989 for the Pro Freestyle Tour and the Team model, although some of the bikes came with Generation 2 standers. Generation 2, available 1988 through 1991. These came in chrome plate, white, black, bubblegum pink, GT blue, and lavender. These were angled frame standers, unlike the previous generations that are in line with the chainstay or horizontal. The angled versions of the Generation 2 design have been dubbed by the community as whale tails, simply because they look like a whale. Well, sorta. These are fully stamped and formed with two cutout sections and serrations on the top edge. The GT wing logo is present on the platform section. The axle hole is round and not slotted. If you can catch a glimpse of these in the back of the 1988 GT BMX catalog. GT refers to them as frame standers too. The whale tails were only used in 1990 for the flagship freestyle models like the GT Aggressor Team and the Pro Freestyle Tour Team model. You can see them mounted in the 1990 GT catalog. Some 1989 Pro Freestyle Tour Team models came equipped with the whale tails, and some of them had the Gen 1 versions. So let me know in the comment section if you had an 89 Pro Freestyle Tour Team model with the whale tails. Gen 2 whale tails have become more sought out and are rarer than Gen 1 and will fetch a pretty penny for collectors or builders trying to finish that last detail on their bikes. Be aware, there are also knockoff versions out there. Most of them do not have the GT wing logo, and the slotted holes for the axles are elongated. Also, don't get them confused with Tioga's style frame stander that looks very similar. And that pretty much is the end of the road for the frame standers. GT stopped equipping them on production bikes after 1990 and no longer showed the frame standers in any capacity after the 1991 catalog. You'll see it in the back of the parts section. So, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. It only takes a few seconds and it really goes a long way to help me. Plus, you won't miss any upcoming content when it hits. So stay tuned for a fork stander generation video. Now, get back to your builds, stay safe, and remember, tomorrow's not guaranteed.